What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? If you missed it, Digital Wildcatters on YouTube, just search Digital Wildcatters. They had a great interview with EFT fellow on Twitter, goes by BRV. Uh, Made about 4 million on the oil short massacre a while back. It's a great interview. Uh, Brief overview: he's got tankers right now. He owns tankers. He's not a fan of companies like PUMP, ProPetro, in the Permian. Made a great point. There's about 50 completion service companies in the Permian. Before the bust is over, there'll only be about 50 jobs at any given time. So margins will shrink, everything will shrink. Service companies, well, he says they didn't really have margins to begin with, but made a great point why service companies you don't want to own. He's bearish oil. Go figure. He thinks about 2 years on oil because of the unwind of all the oversupply. Uh, Economic development may slow down. All that fun stuff. And let's get into the big news. ExxonMobil freezes the dividend. First time in 13 years. I think most people saw it coming, or were at least open to the real possibility they would. Giving out money right now is a dangerous ordeal if you do not have a lot of cash. Exxon does not have a lot of cash for the size of the company. I think they've got $1 billion more than EOG. Of course, EOG is not as big as Exxon. Then you have Royal Dutch Shell. Uh, they they cut their dividend first time since World War II, guys. That's crazy. World War II was the last time Royal Dutch Shell cut their dividend. That is wild, crazy news. What's going on, Mark? Looks like the Fed may do something, and this is why I was holding out on shorts for the time being. We've got some big news coming potentially from the Fed, oil loans, which I think is a horrible idea, but if they do it, it changes things. Also, Tuesday, the Texas Railroad Commission goes to vote on whether they're going to do proration. I personally don't think the vote will go through. I think it'll be a no on the vote. But between the Fed loaning and bailing out the oil industry and the Railroad Commission potentially cutting how much? 1 second, guys. Sorry. It's a super crazy number. I want to make sure I say it right because it is a big number that Texas is talking about cutting. Yeah, they want to cut 20%. So they want to cut 1 million barrels a day in Texas. Proration. It is a massive cut. Supposedly, it won't affect small operators, but major operators will be fined $1,000 per barrel overproduced. That vote is Tuesday. Like I said, I don't think it's going to go through, but that is a short killer if it were to go through. And again, that's why I've held off on shorting anybody yet. There's a lot of companies I don't like, and I think they are going lower, but you have two major things going on right now. It's kind of like, the guys are focused on a river in front of them, thinking, hey, they're going to be able to cross it. Meanwhile, they don't recognize the massive grizzly and the pack of wolves sneaking up on them that could eat their asses up. The Fed bailout and the Railroad Commission cut are those two potential killers for a short play. I still like tankers. Everything was down today except like Ring Energy and Marathon. And speaking of Marathon, I have not seen anything that suggests they remotely hedged with any guidance that would actually help them. So they are going up thanks to Robinhood, I guess, because the second quarter they are going to get murdered. Everybody's coming out. Cheniere, ticker LNG, their exports, their quarter was really good. First quarter was really good, doubled year over year profit. Don't expect them to have the same numbers second quarter. LNG contracts are getting cut left and right. Deliveries are getting cut, so I don't like it at all. Didn't talk about it last night, but Tesla, Elon Musk had some choice words. I've shared some of it on my channel. If you want to go check that video out. Worst companies. Um, I don't like Halliburton. I don't think Halliburton's going to survive this. Honestly, if there aren't any bailouts, I don't think Halliburton's going to survive. A lot of their assets are equipment, and that equipment is, I mean, it's like the value of salvage right now. ProPetro pump, PUMP, BRV talked about it on the Digital Wildcatters interview. That's dangerous company to own. They're not going to have a lot of like actual profits going forward. And better yet, I think it's important going forward with debt. Who wants to loan these guys money right now? Like, can you imagine being a banker and of all the people to walk into your office, it's an oil company wanting a loan? Whew, shit. I think Ring Energy is up 90 cents. Some way, somehow. And also, guys, if you are starting to get on Twitter, I saw a post today. A guy responded to one of the parody accounts about Tesla. Make sure and check and see if it's a parody or not before you start getting involved too much with it, because they will trick you pretty good. It should say parody at the top, but don't make a trade off of Twitter until you know for sure it is legit. Me and another guy were just laughing about that, but one of the parody accounts, Mrs. Skilling, actually had a tweet about Warren Buffett, and at the top it was clearly written parody, but when you're just scrolling through, it looks just like a CNBC tweet, and it was Warren Buffett selling all of his preferred shares of Oxy, and it crashed Oxy in that trading time frame. Like, you saw Oxy just crash when that tweet came out. So make sure and check parity. Yep, still 1,400 by October. Amazon, I think, is losing $1 billion last quarter. Everybody's going crazy about Tesla making money, and they ain't worth it. And Amazon came out and had $1 billion loss. I guess when I think, me personally, I think some people, they get so caught up inside they could order something off Amazon, but they just want to get out of their house and go to Walmart just to get out. I think Walmart's seen a surge because of that. People, like, that's only one of the place, like Walmart and 7-Eleven's about the only place you can go and get out and walk around. I know in the Dallas area, a lot of the parks were closed there for a bit. Like, you couldn't even go to a park there for a minute. So I think Amazon may have lost a little bit just because people wanted to go outside and Walmart was an excuse to go outside. Hell, I went to Walmart and walked around just the other day just to do something. Yeah, I wish Elon was born here, Mark. He wasn't born here, so he can't be president. He doesn't have an American mom or dad. Like, the catch is, if you have an American mom or dad and born overseas, you can, because you're a natural American citizen. I think is how they play it. Don't quote me on it, but he doesn't have either when it comes to parents and wasn't born here, so he can't. He could be the governor of California. Yeah, Walmart sales have gone up. Jerry, I think honestly, like it sounds kind of dumb, but I seriously think Amazon tanked and Walmart went up because people just want to get the hell out of their houses. I legit just get the hell out of their houses. They talk about reopening Texas tomorrow, and we just had our most deadly quote unquote report yet. So Texas is about to be the crash dummies for the rest of the country. I will say though, people knock in Sweden today. Yeah, their numbers are high, but they're not. Some of the other countries with lockdowns have higher death, uh, like corona case deaths percentage wise. Other countries that were locked down have higher. So that'll be interesting to see the data when it all comes out. And when you think about it, with all these antibody tests, Sweden is probably through the woods now because everybody's out, everybody's already gotten. So, if the more of your population that has gotten it and gotten done with it, the less that can spread it. So I think, yeah, it's a blunt hammer to begin with, but I think long term, Sweden will actually be doing better because they'll be done with it. That's what I think, Mark. I think the data is pretty clear. It's not killing healthy young. So by all means, I think you should be able to go out at your own risk. It seems like every day I'm talking to business owners that aren't going to open back up, like their business is toast. It's a sad deal because a lot of places summer is slow for them too. Believe it or not, like restaurants and stuff, summertime seems to slow down for them. So it's just a sad deal. Think they knew that most people are going to end up getting it. They're just trying to flatten the curve so healthcare can handle overtime. Yeah, in theory, I think probably right. I saw the lobbyist, the emergency room doctor lobbyists were going after those doctors out in California. They said their information was bad, and it's like, well, I don't think their information is technically bad. It's just not information a doctor lobbyists want to hear right now. They're making more money and they know what to do with. And a lot of states are actually rolling back a lot of the deaths. They're coming back and saying, well, they technically didn't die of corona. What will the Fed do for oil and gas? I do not know, but it sounds like they're about to start doing loans, which it's going to be a bunch of General Motors. You loan them money, don't expect it back because it ain't going to happen. There is so much money ready to move on oil. It's not even funny. I've gotten my email is full of groups, firms, equity groups ready to buy production when everything goes under. But, you know, the market can't fix itself because the federal government's going to step in and bail out these companies that should have been taken out beforehand. If not for if the federal government and the railroad commission, who if you're just joining railroad commission votes Tuesday to have a 20% cut in Texas of about 1 million barrels, they vote on that Tuesday. Uh, that's why I haven't gone short anybody yet, because between the Fed potentially bailing out oil and the railroad commission, that could really mess up the shore. But if they just get out of the way, the market will fix itself. Because there are plenty of cash buyers for oil and gas production if they'll just get out of the way. It's not like It's not like, oh shit, they went under. Okay, all their oil wells ain't going to work no more. No, somebody buys them out. The banks take all their stuff and then they sell it. It's the same. We saw the same thing with the housing market crash. Like it's not like the houses just tear down and there's nothing left there anymore. It builds back up. It's brutal at first, but banks go out, they sell the crap, and everything comes back. Unless like it's Flint, Michigan, or somewhere where house ain't worth a damn. I'm looking at some orphan wells, Eric. I think I told you about it. Try to get some orphan wells, but problem right now is I don't know if you could sell the oil or not. Which I mean, if you got tank batteries, you just keep producing while it's low, but you technically ain't got to sell nothing yet. Depending on the size of your tanks, you can keep producing, lock in some low electricity rates for sure. Yeah, the shareholders just get murdered. I don't think I've said it yet, but donkey of the day. I swear, oil and gas. I technically had the LA Lakers the other day for taking the money, but they gave it back. But I swear, oil and gas produces donkey of the day easier than any other industry. Marathon came out and is bumping their executive pay after they laid off untold, I think, couple thousand people. So donkey of the day is Marathon giving their executives a compensation bump. 120%. Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting. If you're just joining, recap. I think it's pretty big news. Royal Dutch Shell, to give you an idea how bad this bust is. First time since World War II they've cut a dividend. And of course, Exxon is freezing their dividend. Um, you had to presume it could happen. Nothing's off the table right now. The floating Saudi Arabian Armada is heading to the United States. Um, when they unload, they pick up American oil and take it places. But as you can see, it's getting highly politicized as those damn Saudis. The truth is, we need their heavier oil anyways for our refiners. So it's kind of we need we need them, but it will get politicized, and we'll see how this goes. It is so tricky. Oh, the Russians came out and said they're going to do the cut. All the companies are agreeing to it. They're not happy, but there is some. It feels a little resentment in the Russian camp about the cuts, but at the end of the day, I don't think they want Saudis going nuclear again to force them to the table because they know the Saudis were nice this time. Like they went nuclear, but then like self-destructed the missiles while they're outside of the atmosphere before they actually hit. So, but next time, I don't think the Saudis will, because the Russians, and to the Russians' credit, they were saying, "Hey, how can we cut when we don't even know what the overproduction, the oversupply is, and drop in demand?" So that kind of crashed the whole meeting. But then the Saudis, of course, bumped up to 12.3 million barrels, and then they finally did it. But the Saudis went nuclear to bring everybody to the table. Um, Mexico is interesting because I believe one of the new Saudi fields coming online will be a direct competitor with Maya crude. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. So I think Mexico has massive potential to be a major oil producer, but damn, they got to the game late. If they'd started like legit getting into producing 10 years ago, they'd be a they'd be a juggernaut right now. I mean, they could be It won't be a United States or Saudis, but they could easily be a Kuwaiti level producer. There's a lot of potential in Mexico for oil. Um, Got a good question about the cartels and stuff. I personally don't know anything about it, but I don't think the cartels would jack too much with oil. I know they have in the past, back during the not so organized days, but like you think the government's got this cash cow making billions for them via oil. They're going to fight over that. So I don't know, but we'll have to see. If you just join in, ticker LNG Cheniere doubled their year over year quarter profit. Everybody is canceling LNG shipments, so I think second quarter could be brutal, very very brutal. I'm kind of curious. What's going to happen with that LNG and oil exports. At a certain point, China and India, some of the biggest buyers, they've got to fill up. And the Fed and Trump and everybody's talking about 100 million in additional storage. I don't know where, we were laughing about it yesterday, 100 million barrels of oil. You can't exactly just stick that anywhere. So I'm curious where that's going to go. But it should be interesting. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. If you didn't get a chance already, check out Digital Wildcatters on YouTube here. They had a great interview today with a Big Short, a guy that made a lot of money off shorting oil. Good perspective. He likes tankers, doesn't like service companies, thinks oil is going to be bearish for 2 years. Yeah, it's great to see. I really appreciate all you guys, Eric. Thank you, Mark. I love talking to you guys every day. Jerry, it's been a lot of fun. Now, if you would, I need some Tesla bot so I can get to that 1400. That way, I don't have to pony up a gift card, $50 gift card with Joe. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.